Hello and welcome to Galaxy Advisors. The purpose of this video is to give you a little jump start on how to analyze email in Condor, and specifically we're going to be using the Enron small email example. Now, overall the steps are going to be three. You're going to download the Enron MySQL file, which is a little subset of the overall big Enron email database. Second of all, we're going to use Navicat to import the MySQL database. Now, a Navicat again is a graphical user interface that interacts with the MySQL database. And then third, we're going to use Condor to visualize and measure and explore that email database. Now you might ask, well, what's the relationship between Condor, Navicat, and MySQL? Well, sitting on your computer, you might say conceptually here, that you have the MySQL database where all the email, web, Twitter, Facebook data is actually stored. Condor, you might think about as sitting on top of that database and interacting with it. And at the same time, also Navicat in parallel can access the MySQL database. So for Condor, interacting with the database, it's then using its algorithms and programming to provide a network view, that kind of dynamic or static view of the data into network maps, provide those measures and trends. So built into Condor, the algorithms that calculate these measures, and the ability also to analyze content. In contrast, Navicat actually again accesses the same MySQL database, but provides, you might say, an Excel spreadsheet view. It shows you the tables that are underlying the data in these table views, multiple tables, and both Condor and Navicat gives you ability to actually export the data to use in other software if you wish. So that kind of gives you an overview of how they three interact. But most importantly, you have to have installed and start first your MySQL server. So let's talk about how to start it on both a Mac and a PC, and then we'll go through the steps of downloading the Enron database and visualizing it in Condor. So okay, the first step is to download the Enron MySQL file. Use this link here indicated, and once you click on that link, you go through your process of downloading and then unzip the file. You should see somewhere using your Finder or browser the Enron _small.sql file, which is about 6.5 megabytes in size. So that will make sure that you have successfully downloaded and unzipped the file. The second step is to use Navicat. Now, Navicat runs on both a Mac and a PC, so I'm going to go through a quick little instructions of how to start it, the MySQL server. And so again, very first thing is you need to start MySQL. So on a Mac, if it has not been set to start automatically, again, that was regarding the setup in how you installed MySQL. So if you have not started it automatically, in 4.1 in the upper left corner, click the black apple, select System Preferences, and then click the MySQL icon. You're going to get a message then. Just click OK at this message, and then enter your computer password if you have one. If not, just click OK. Again, this is your computer password. Then you're going to get a message displayed that the MySQL server instance is running, and so that's good news. Now, if you're on a PC, again, start MySQL if it is not set up to start automatically. And you can check it by click Start, Programs, MySQL Server will give you a kind of server number, and then the MySQL command prompt is indicated here. Enter your MySQL password again if you have one. If not, just press Enter, and then you should see the MySQL prompt, and that means that MySQL is running on a PC. So the fundamentally first step now is done. So then start Navicat, enter your MySQL password again if you created one, and then right click on the local host and select New Database. And so what we're going to do is click Create a New Database. So enter a database name such as Enron Small. Again, the important thing about a database name, it cannot have spaces or special characters. And then finally click OK. 4.8, double click on the new database to highlight it. right click on the new database, and this is going to give you this menu, and then click Execute SQL File. Then in step 4.11, click the three little dots in the right hand side next to File. Navigate to and select the Enron _small.sql file and click Start. From here, a message log will appear, and at this point, click 4.12 and close the window. And then what you're wanting to do is right click on the tables there beneath the database name, and then this menu will show up, and then next to that just click refresh. This will give you, showing you the tables that are available. If you double click on the chars or or data sets, it'll give you the kind of like Excel spreadsheet view of those tables. So now we can go back and start Condor. Again, enter your monthly key only at the first of the month. Leave host and user the same there. Enter your MySQL password if you again have created one, and click OK. Then on the File menu, you're going to click File, click then Open Database, and then you're going to the database name. I've highlighted in green a little drop-down box, and what you want to do is select Enron, then click OK. Here at this point, you'll see in available data sets that Enron Small appears, and then a message below it'll say connected to the database Enron Small. Now, just to review, we're going to use the View menu to visualize and look at several measures that are calculated for the email. Again, recall in using the View menu, it's a two-step operation. The first step is to click View, Communication, and then create Communications View. The second step is then again click View, Communication, and this time select Dynamic View of Communication because we actually have timestamps and can actually visualize the email over time. So if you click the dynamic, it's going to give you a time unit to choose from day, month, or year. Again, a little drop down box. I suggest for this data set you check month and leave everything else the same and click OK. And then finally choose weighted between this calculation. A little menu is going to pop up. Here's a drop down box. At this point I would just suggest to accept the default of the plane between the centrality and click OK. And then the dynamic view is going to give you a choice to select the top nodes between the centrality. Again, we have 621 nodes, which are pretty easily to view within Condor. It's when you get up into the thousands that you might want to select the top 500. You can go as long as the top 10. So you have complete freedom here within the tool to select the top nodes. Click OK. Then you're going to see a little progress bar appears. It's going to tell about a little message in the on the far left about its processing, and you'll see a little blue bar with a little % indication of its completion. Again, depending upon your computer memory processing unit, it might take several minutes, especially when you get up into tens of thousands of nodes. It might take quite a while to render it. Now, a network map is drawn. This is what the initial small Enron will look like, two little dots, and at the very bottom is a little month indicator of the number of months that the Enron data set has available for it. You can play the animation here, but what I'd like to point out to you is that in the lower right hand corner there's actually two windows. On the very top window is the dynamic view window, and at the very bottom is the console window. Now what I suggest is you take the dynamic view window, the very top one, and resize it. So resize it so it's a smaller, a little window, and what this enables you to do is to use your workspace to have the dynamic view along with several other measures. If you click on the measure and if you click on the window, you're going to see the console and dynamic window view like you do in other Windows programs. If you click on the measure, you see a lot of options, and I'm going to select let's say the group centrality and group density. I'm going to pick the actor contribution index, and then I'm also going to do the new user plot and display all of those at once. So here by clicking on the measure, you can then resize each of these individual windows so that you can actually dynamically view the network, the group density and centrality measures, contribution index, and the new user plot all at once. So at this point, that's the main tips on how to get started using an email database. Again, don't forget about the window command on the main console menu. You can click any of these windows and show them individually or collectively. So that should be able to give you a jump start on using Condor to analyze email. Highly recommend that you use your own email and see the other video of how to export your own email. But enjoy and explore those menus and your email.